that one-liner. Welcome and thank you so much for this opportunity once again to Ryan and to the rest of my MCTTs for giving me this opportunity to get you guys back some more time, right? They save the best for last, and here we are to get you guys some time back. I wanted to share a couple of slides with you guys because Kyle and Ariel got me a little worried. If I don't show any slides, maybe I won't be as good as them. The only real luxury is time. You can't get that back, right? And it's only perfect. I find this so fitting to go with smart plans because when we're asleep, when we're away, when we're taking care of new business, old business, following up, we have these systems to be automated. And these systems could be automated with utilizing smart plans. Another quote that I wanted to share with you guys, I've worked with a couple of luxury brands in my professional career here. And one of the quotes that always stood out from me, which I found was really good, was exceeding expectation is where satisfied ends and loyalty begins. So if you just exceed expectations, that right there is not enough. It's not enough to get that threshold of luxury. If not, you're just being good. And none of us just don't want to be good. We want to be excellent. We want to be the best. We want to be the millionaire real estate agents that we are. Right? So now let's hop into Command because I want to show you a couple of smart plans that I believe will work to your best benefits. If you guys can in the chat right here, what will we say is the expectation or industry standard for how many times we should touch a client?
36.
36 times, right? 36 times will be right the expectation. What the gurus with all them say, what we should do and what we should have at our fingertips and at our disposal, and what we should do with all of our clients. 36 times. So I know that Kyle was mentioning do the database twice, DTD2, right? And we're going to get into that in a few. So first things first, you want to go to agent.kw.com. You want me to be shorter? Is that what it is? No, I'm kidding. I wasn't sure what you said. So we're just going to go ahead and log in. And by the way, if you're new and been a part of this call, yeah, that's where you want to go for Command. You want to go to agent.kw.com, right? So welcome to the world of kw.com, of Command. My screen might look a little different from yours. Where I really want to start off, because there was a lot of good pointers that a lot of people gave. You know, luxury is an experience, not just a price point. But one that Brady hit, and I feel is the one that we all should take note of, is that brand consistency, right? Every single piece of promo, every single piece of email, marketing material, anything to that nature should have consistency, should have the same logo. So I do want to mention right here, when you click on your name and a drop-down menu appears, you want to go to settings and go to your marketing profile. Make sure that headshot that you want and everything is the one that's there, and your logos are there as well. So once we're here in settings, you want to go to connect settings and go to marketing profile, and that's where you'll make those adjustments, right? If you need someone to help out with branding, please look out for those professional services to get you that branding, because if you haven't learned something today in today's sessions, is that branding is part of luxury more than ever. I'm not sure why I have my hand up. My variant over there is acting up, but I see my hands up. And again, guys, I go a little quick. So if you want me to stop, want me to go over something, please let me know. I'll go right over it once again. Okay, so another thing that Kyle mentioned as well, because coincidentally, right, smart plans run right alongside with contacts, because you want to have tags on your contacts. That's how you're going to know and separate and get that separation of your contacts, because Josue doesn't need the same thing that Brett needs. Ariel doesn't need the same thing that Brett needs. So we need to tag these people with, if they're buyers, if they're sellers, if they're investors, right? If they're dog lovers, where we could give them marketing material that supports that, right? Again, back to my previous employment as well, was feather-free pillows, right? I worked for a luxury hotel. And I feel like this story correlates with it, because as soon as you let us know that you're allergic to feathers, so you need a feather-free room, you would never stay in that hotel again with a feather inside in your hotel room, right? Knowing that stuff, keeping that stuff on record, right? So here with Caesar, right? Well, I have all my database. What it consists of is my agents here because those are my clients, right? Those are the people that I service here on a daily basis at KW Capital. So, right, I know that Caesar and this is I'm going to use a little bit of the leadership side of things. But you could use these. These are fully customizable. You can make them what you want, right? Let's say Capper instead of Capper is a buyer, right? So I know Caesar's a buyer. I know he's part of my top 20 as well. So I know what type of events I would invite him to. Just like with your investors, you know what type of open houses to invite him to. And not necessarily saying that it has to be your listings, informing, being that local expert. Hey, I know that David has a listing that is around that sweet price point that I discussed with him being an investor to get that third, fourth, or maybe that secondary home, right, to have in their portfolio, right? So having the correct tags. Of course, you have notes here as well. And we also have the custom fields. Use this to your biggest advantage. That's what's going to separate you apart and exceed expectation. Have any of us ever gone to the dentist, to the dermatologist, to the doctor, and they tell us, oh yeah, you're going to be receiving an email. Oh yeah, you're going to be getting this follow-up appointment, this, and that. And we don't receive anything? Has anyone been there? Right, it happens here and there, unfortunately. And I get a little bit of a stickler with that, right? Because you have to do what you say, right? And especially with the luxury client, right? What you say is what you do. Your word is bond with them, right? As soon as you slip up, as soon as you catch a miss of doubt, or that doubt to linger in their mind, that's when they're ready to move on to the next thing. Because what is their luxury? Time. And you can't be wasting anyone's time, right? So with that, you have to make sure that you're blocking these people, or blocking, what I mean by blocking is tagging these people correctly, right? Just a handful of tags that you could use. Start off with the basics. Get who your buyers are. Get who who's renting and who's not. Of course, even those that are selling, right? You want to have them blocked out because it's only going to make your smart plans be more impactful, right? Again, with the DT2 doing the database twice, how many touches is that, right? It says twice, but really it's 4 times. Me and John were having a little bit of a laugh at that. Like, why do they call it D2? It just rolls a little bit more off the tongue, right? But with those, that's 4 right there. That's 4 times that we're going to be touching them. So someone make a tally there. That'll be 4 with the quarterly call plan. And how do you do that? Or how can you basically have this plan automated? We shared with you guys in the chat, and I'm going to pull it up again, or one of my MCTTs, if you guys can help me out. We're pulling up the schedule for it again, because this schedule right here, you could follow it, but then it's just, or print it out, put it in front of your screen, but then it's just there, right? And then you look at it every once in a while and you're like, maybe tomorrow I'll start, right? Has anyone that happened to us, oh, no, tomorrow will be a good day to get that started. Oh, well, it's C and K. Well, actually, what week would it be today? The 31st will be SNU. Oh, it's SNU. I only have three little palejitos, 3 little birdies that fit under this criteria. So I could save that on to Friday, right? Or like me, I'll wait till the last minute to make a little PowerPoint presentation for you guys. But no, in all seriousness, right? You don't want to have, this is a system that could be broken. Right? So what we want to do is we could grab this schedule that's already set for us. We don't have to think or get outside of our mind here. What we could do is with the quarterly call plan, and since my screen looks a little different from yours, and you may not have these smart plans in your system, we want to go to library, and then we want to look for the quarterly call plan, which uncoincidentally is one of the top right here in KW. Right, ranked highly by agents. You could see there, a lot of agents are using these, right? So you could view the steps, the call plan, 90 days, and then repeats. So then it will kind of repeat the cycle for you. So not that this sheet will be something that you disregard, but it's something that your system command already has in place to remind you. It's going to give you those alerts for those tasks. So what we're going to do here is hit add to smart plan. And of course, you're going to hit download. So if I wanted to add that to my SNU, basically I would start that for the day of. and then I'll go on, so on and so forth, right? So then next week, because you could schedule your smart plans, which I could show you here. Let's go back to my smart plans. Let me just go to call. Now, I don't think I've gone to S&W yet in my database as of yet. So, oh, not edit, excuse me. Call. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that's 4. So now we're down to 32. But I'm going to show you that 32 is just going to be, 36 touches is going to be almost the bare minimum that we're going to hit here. So contact, we're going to have the tags. I'm just going to do B and E, right? Or let's say we're going to do B and E, right? Let me go back to my schedule. When's the next time we're going to reach out to B and E? It's going to be October 12th. So I'm not going to start. I'm going to select all because this should have all my B and E. This is easy. Why is it easy for me to do? Well, it's simple, not easy, right? It's simple for me to do this because I took that step back and I did put the tags that correlate to the particular clients that I want them for. So I hit add to smart plan. Instead of start now, whoa, not start now. We're not going to start it now. We're going to go to start on a following day. And I'm going to start that, you guessed it, on October 11th. Was it October 11th or was it October 12th? Let's just go ahead and put the 11th there. And confirm. So now I have, I think it was about 18 or so clients, agents that I now have on this quarterly call plan. Now I don't have to go back and say, hey, when's the next time? No, Command's going to remind me when January comes knocking on the door and that week of who that I need to call. So I'm blocking it out by weeks. And again, I harp on do the database twice because when you're militant on this, I've seen great success. I know someone shared in the chat, we've done an additional 5 million this year by following the do the database twice model. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Jack Smith, for sharing that out in St. Petersburg and Tampa Bay. Go Bucks, right? And go Lightning. So, wow, 5 million. Who could use $5 million extra this year? Show of hands. Oh, I have my good guys here that are showing up their hands. Appreciate it. Right? We could all use some of that money. Why? To probably get some of that luxury, to get some of our time back, right? For we can start leveraging out things, but let's slow down there. And when you're on this, it could come, and Jack, if you want, you can unmute yourself. How many of those conversations or maybe a referral, an opportunity presented themselves either indirectly or directly, right? It happens because now when you're on top of mind, you're no longer just on top of mind for them and their real estate needs. Now, all of a sudden, Ryan starts talking about, man, I really need a bigger pool, right? Or, man, I'm expecting a newborn. We're going to need the 4th bedroom or the 3rd bedroom or what have you. Bam. Who am I going to say? You need to talk to Josue. I just talked to him a couple of weeks ago, right? He stays in communication. You're going to love this guy, right? It's the best way to get your lifeline up for your business, right? And that's who you're going to know who you're either going to keep in your database or who maybe you need to move on forward from your database, right? Maybe it's not someone that you need to, I hate to say, waste your energy, but, put your energies towards something else because maybe that particular client isn't warm to you, right? Okay, so that's one smart plan that you could put in your back pocket, quarterly call plan, making those phone calls. And you could do that a couple of ways as well. So another smart plan that I want to get to, and of course, the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, right? We always talk about this because it takes about 2 weeks to forget someone. Well, maybe not me because, this face, the hair, all that stuff. But unfortunately, it is the truth. If I talk to Andrew today and we don't, well, maybe not Andrew, then let me pick on somebody. If I just met someone for the first time, if Andrew was the first time I met him and we talked for 5 minutes today, and the next time I see him is next July, it's going to take me a little bit to, oh, Andrew, oh yeah, I remember now, right? It's going to take me a little bit of time to gain that back. So bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, those 2 weeks, it gets you on top of mind. I really feel that this isn't out of one shoe fits all because no smart plan is, right? Smart plan is specifically for a target audience. And this one, I think, mainly leans heavily on the seller, on the buyers. So when you have someone that's interested in an area, right, you want to get a little bit hyper focused. So what area are you looking for? Oh, well, some people don't say, hey, I want to live in downtown and then I want to live all the way in Homestead, right? Those that live in Miami, right? Or I want to live in the beach, but I'm open to living in Doral too. No, they have to be a little bit more focused on what area in particular or what they want, right? So once you add this smart plan, and I'll show you how you could add this smart plan to a client and you could subscribe them to a neighborhood. Now that's for our sellers right there. I mean, excuse me, for our buyers. The name of the game is listing. So I'm just thinking about sellers all day. But the biweekly neighborhood nurture, quick math, 52 divided by 2, that's about 25 or so. No, 52 divided by 2, it's 26. All right, sorry, Miss Williams. I knew it before. It's 26. So 26 plus 4, that gets us at 30, right? To our beloved, our expectation as realtors, our expectation is to reach out and touch our client or touch our client 36 times, right? So we have a couple other smart plans that I think that are great that you could utilize. If you're new to Keller Williams, put in the chat, new to the family, or if anyone's been here over 3 years, put that in there too as well. I've been with Keller Williams for 4, hopefully going on for another 4 more if they'll have me. They helped us become an MREA, a millionaire real estate agent in our 5th year. That's Jack Smith again. Listen to Andrew. Well, I've been listening to Andrew's stock advice and I've been on a $20,000 hole, but neither here nor there. I'm kidding, buddy. So first, okay, so if you're not new to Keller Williams or new licensee or an experienced agent, we do have that as well here for you. And if you want, well, let me just go over here with this one. That's 6 steps, it's 3 touches right there. That gets us to 33. Thank you so much. Welcome to the family. I appreciate it. Miss Fortune, is that how you say that? I don't want to butcher anyone's name here. But welcome to the family. This one right here. And I actually found great success with this smart plan on your own. Welcome. Yes, please. We're appreciating to have you. Yeah, and tell your friends and tell another friend to come to Keller Williams, build up that profit share, get your rightful share earned, right? You could go here to add this smart plan. You can see the steps, right? New to Keller Williams, all that stuff, view these steps. And you could, and Ryan and Kyle, don't throw a stapler at me, but you could get a little bit creative here, right? And just change a little bit of this, I'm excited to share the news with you and everybody. Let's say you're someone who was, a fitness instructor 3 years ago, and then you were a car salesman 2 years ago, and then last year you were working from home for personal development during the quarantine, and then now you got your real estate license, right? You could go ahead and have fun with that. That's exactly what me and the success story that I'm going to share with you with this agent. We kind of poked fun. Yes, I'm changing careers again. Hopefully this time for good in real estate. And now I shift my career into a full-time real estate sales professional with Keller Williams. And now that agent is on to becoming a capper, right? And he's actually part of the luxury division selling luxury houses, right? So that right there, and that's 3 steps. So that gets us to at 33. And then you have the text messages, of course, what involves Twilio. And if we have the time, I'll definitely talk to you guys about that, because text messages is one of the best ways to reach out to clients, because it's about 96 text messages, unless you're texting me, they're read. People read the text messages that get received to their phones. And then with an emoji, it goes up another percentage, right? So then it has a call, and then it adds them to the quarterly call plan. Go figure. KW wants you to do that quarterly call plan. No wonder why we talk about it so much, right? Do the database twice. So now we're basically at 33, is it? So we just need another 3 here. What I like with smart plans, now you have the 5x5 database touch, which this is a great one as well. This will give you 3 other touches. So bam, 36, mazel tov, we did our job, right? But we want to keep on doing a little bit more. And I want to show you all, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of other smart plans that I actually found quite helpful. I live in sunny South Florida, to be more specific, in Miami, and we have a lot of Spanish-speaking clients and a lot of Spanish-speaking here. And if you're like me, the opposite of Celia Cruz, my Spanish isn't very good looking. And right here, it has scripts for you, right? Or let's say you call someone and then they automatically just start talking Spanish, right? You could add them to the smart plan, right? Because it has, and you probably can communicate with them, but you can add them to the smart plan that have a full script in Spanish for you. You don't have to think about it. If you're someone that does speak Spanish, and I know that sometimes the Spanish language is a little different. If you're from Cuba, if you're from Dominican Republic, if you're from Colombia, things change a little bit in punctuality or the way how you would say something. This might be a little bit too textbook for some of us who like to throw the sazon, if you will, in our Spanish that you can add there. Add your personality. Personality is part of your brand. I believe Miss Team, when she was talking about that in the beginning of the panel of you have that plan. Oh, I love that, Kevin. That's great. Is there a Spanish tag in Smart Plan? Well, you could add them. You could add a tag called Spanish speaker, or maybe someone that prefers to speak in Spanish. You could just put Spanish, right? And then add everyone to that Smart Plan that speaks Spanish. I think, Kevin, I think that's a great point. So Spanish speakers can find, well, they can't find them. You're going to find them for that Spanish speaking client and then assign them to that smart plan. If you follow. So let's say, I'm not sure if I have this one here. So I'm going to add this one. Okay, this one's already downloaded. So I'm going to go to smart plans. I'm going to just go type in Spanish. I have to have this client in my database, right? First and foremost, if you want to add someone to a smart plan, spoiler alert, they need to be in your database, right? And that's why those 5 things that Kyle mentioned are very, very important, right? Especially when it comes to smart plans, because a lot of smart plans are contingent on some information, right? First of all, we have emails that say, hey, first name contact, right? So I need to have David's first name, right? I need to have David's phone number, where I could text him, where I could call him for the quarterly call plan. I have to have his email if I want that biweekly neighborhood nurture plan to work efficiently, right? His date of birth will be good because we have a smart plan that caters to his birthday, and also his home address, because we could send him touches, postcards, right? Even for the holidays. I meant, so the Spanish language agent can easily find that. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying, Kevin. I mean, the easiest way to do it, I think you could really translate this page into, translate to Spanish if you right click on your web browser, and then when you go to library, just search and put Spanish. And then from there, you could also edit these smart plans, which I'll show you when we get into a couple of more few different ones. There's also a luxury smart plan that I found. I took a look at this one. I wasn't too mad about it. You guys could add a couple of things and I'll show you what we could do here called luxury lead smart plan, right? Because we're here to get into either infiltrate the luxury market, or we just took our first luxury listing. Now we want to know, I want to get that commission, make sure that you really get it, right? Or we've been doing it, we have a well-oiled machine, we just want to get better and better and better. So right here, you have 6 touches. So we left off, I want to say we left off at 36, bam, right there is 39. So we're exceeding expectation. That's the point of luxury. Just hitting expectation. They do that at McDonald's, right? They don't burn the chicken nuggets, they don't burn the French fries, perfect, right? I'm good to go. But when they exceed, when they give you an extra chicken nugget, you're like, God, I'm gonna come back. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But in all seriousness, you want to exceed that expectation. 55, great enough. Thank you guys. 55 agents are using this one. Only one has reviewed it, but view these steps. I found it quite useful. A touch task. So it's basically agent to add contact first name, Andrew, to neighborhood, create smart plan, right? So they're basically playing on for you to get onto that smart plan of the biweekly neighborhood nurture. Then we have an HTML email. So we're going to take a look at that one, a text message from them. Right, I noticed you were looking at our luxury home on Facebook and I emailed you a 3D tour yesterday. What did you think? Right, those 3 question marks kind of get at me. I almost would want to add an emoji rather than 3 question marks, but even though I'm a person that likes to exaggerate text a lot, but probably not in a luxury lead or a potential luxury buyer. So I'm gonna add this smart plan, right? So this one has 6 right here. So we're gonna download this, bam. So that now I have that in my library, right? So now I'm gonna exit out of here, go to my smart plans, and now it's right here. Created 3 days. So these icons right here, just so I could tell you guys, or you could read this screen a little bit. You have your smart plans, the name of it, how many contacts are in there, when this was created or when this was added to my smart plans. the duration of the smart plan. So 3 days. 3 days is good, especially when you're trying to follow up with that lead, right? I would say you maybe need an additional long-term follow-up plan with this. But from there, you're going to know, especially if it's an internet lead, you're going to know if it was just a mumbo jumbo, if it was, you know, someone just putting LeBron James because they were trying to be funny, you know, some scam thing. 6 additional touches. And then right here, we have actions. Here's where we could add contacts. This is where I could add that new lead that I got, right? This is where I could add my luxury buyers, let's say. We also have edit right here, and this is where we're going to go into right now. We're going to hit edit. And here's when I get to have a little fun here, and I could change up this verbiage if I wanted to. Now, this is for, this is a task. So I don't want to change anything too much here, right? We want to scroll a little down. Here is that HTML email. So I wanted to know what this was about. It says luxury homes, Western Montana. Now, I don't know what Western Montana is or where it's at, but hey, it's there. This is a hint, 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 hint. Do I have my bell? Oh, my bell's not here. Let me grab that right here. I don't have a nice fancy air horn like Andrew. But what we have is, that's just a hint that sometimes when you download these smart plans, they're created by agents, but so they might have some of the information from that existing agent. You just have to scrub it up, inspect the expected, and either erase this, change this. Everyone is buying a Montana. You notice all the Rolls Royces. I haven't noticed. I haven't noticed all the Rolls Royces, but maybe I'm in the wrong side of Miami. Thank you, Kevin. Right here, it's a text thing. All right, so right here, you could preview this design or even edit. Let's actually edit this design. Okay, beware, edit in mode. Now we'll change this design in your library. Okay, got it. That's what we want to do. We actually want to change this because we don't have anyone assigned to this. Contact, you're thinking about relocating to Western Montana. Okay, now this smart plan in particular works best if I have a listing, right? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You guys could add this smart plan, but keep the spades in there. Or maybe you can, even when you don't have a luxury listing or have a listing, this is something that you could do. Or think about this as things that you could do. Because you should, back to again what Miss Team was saying, you want to treat every listing like it's a luxury listing. There's no difference. Every client should get the same steps. To Andrew's point too, with that flow of the opportunities. Shouldn't miss a step. Just because David is buying the $800,000 property and I have Ryan buying the $2 million property, that doesn't mean that Ryan has the money. He doesn't need the closing knives that I do for everyone. Right? No,
it's not a price point.
It's not a price
point. It's an experience, right?
It's an experience, exactly. Thank you, because I was going to go on another tangent. So right here, you could just double click, and this is where you can edit all the text, right? Are you relocating to Coconut Grove, right? Coconut Grove has a lot of high-end prices and my local area closest to my market center, so I'll go ahead and I'll put that, right? And I'll edit there's a couple other things that we'll do here, but see that time is getting the best of us, so I'll hit done here. Call, okay, now that's not my number. Now, if you want to be a good Samaritan and give business to Mr. what's his name? We don't have him here, but I would advise you that you try to keep all your contacts, try to keep them as your lead. So just go ahead and hit that edit button or double click and then just put your phone number. Yeah, call me, beat me if you want to reach me at 305-200-9121. I don't answer on weekends and I don't answer on weekdays. It's a funny setup that I have. So we'll hit done. And of course, this is embedded with a virtual tour, which I believe you should, if it's definitely not even a price point, like we said, it's an experience, you should get that videographer. If it's not just a 3D module video, you should get the drone out there, definitely spend some marketing dollars. It's only going to do better. Back again to the panel. I'm blanking out on his name. The gentleman who was on a panel at the beginning of the day, he was saying it's just good to have your name and your marketing, your brand next to a luxury. So if this video is not going to go bad, it doesn't have an expiration date. Yeah, you sell the property, but guess what? It lives forever on YouTube. You could use it again. People that look you up through SEO search or through YouTube are going to see that video like, oh, wow, he marketed that property like that. I know he's going to do a great job with my property. And that's what you want. That's what you want to basically happen. Of course, you have this link here, and you're going to have to edit this as well, because this is going to buysellmontana.kw.com. Wow, they got a good domain there while they still could in that market center. Probably all their agents are like, oh, Hyde, why'd you have to do that? Now this one right here, you could either replace this one right here or have something similar with your market center logo and the luxury logo created. I would even say your own logo as well, because that brand consistency is something that we want to do, right? And if we just preview this here, we could, if you want to preview this, because we see all these coding and some of us might get a little nervous. It's like, oh man, this is looking like the back end of a computer. Are we mining cryptocurrency? No, we're not. We're going to go right here to the eyeball for a preview, and contact first name gets filled out. Best Javier Largaespada, KW Capital. I don't like how that's together, so I could space that out. If you want to test command and see if a command does what it says, you could go right here, hit Aggie. Okay, no, Alex. Okay, sometimes this happens. We probably have to refresh or so, but the contact name will be basically filled out for you, and it'll be good to go, right? So let's say we filled this out to our best of our abilities on what we wanted. We replaced really what you want to do here is replace any of that old Western Montana, that phone number, this video, and this call to action, which is, look at luxury listings to go to your website with the luxury listings at that price point. You could even look at this. Because I'm a little curious. So we're going to look at this domain and see what they have. So it's their website, but what they did is put it at a certain price point, made it a house, 2+ beds. They also made it for sale. Now, I'm not too mad at this. The only thing I wouldn't like is that if someone clicked that, they see no properties available. I may want to either broaden the search a little bit more. Here in Miami, you literally walk 2 blocks and you saw 16 luxury homes. So it might be just a little different there in that Montana area, right? So please keep in mind of that as well. So then done, save and exit. So we could save all the edits that we made to that. Right then and there, we have that luxury template that's good to go. The Twilio, definitely recommend this, right? I always joke around with my sister and say, hey, it costs us almost $10 to step outside in Miami, right? So right here, when you go to subscribe and marketplace to get to Twilio, you could get 300 credits for as low as $3.15. Excuse me, 16 cents, $3.16. Now, some of us waste that on coffee, and trust me, some of you guys could go a day without coffee. Just letting you guys know that, it's quite possible. It could happen, right? And especially if your database or you're building up that database, right? And that's a little bit more to the contact aspect of it, because you don't want to just send a bunch of text messages and no one replies to it. Maybe you have to look within the message rather than blaming everyone and saying, hey, that no one's interested in real estate. But take a look at these options. I think it's a great value for the price, and it gives you back time, right? Or you don't need to hire the nephew or the son or the intern and pay them $100, maybe not the intern, but pay someone $100 to text message, to copy and paste a text message to 100 people in your database, right? Again, the tags are going to help you out with this, right? So is there a specific message, what you need? I would go, $5 a month. I personally don't think that's hurting anything. Sometimes we spend that on junk, right? We spend that on 2 bags of hot Cheetos. Or you could go to the medium size. It all depends on your database size, right? And how frequently you're going to be using this, of course. So let's go right back into Smart Plan. Any questions on Twilio before I kind of move forward onto either another Smart Plan that we could use here? Or any questions about Smart Plans right now? So that's the Twilio delays. Now, let's say you want a couple more delays. You could go ahead and do that if you like. Let's say also you don't want this to be a text message. You'd rather give them a call because the $3.16 is just too much, and Starbucks deserves your money way more than your business does. Go ahead and you could delete this and change this to an email if you like. And if that hurts some of you, I hope it did, because Starbucks doesn't deserve your money more than your business does. Bam. So I'm just going to click save here, move on to the next thing. What about hold on. What about that first text that provides the awkward disclaimer? Or you're talking about with Twilio that says, to stop these text messages, please type yes or type a no. That's really, it's really a safety precaution, I would say. Ryan, what would you say a little bit more to that? But I would say it's a safety precaution for you and the number. Because then again, just like how you're,
We're required, since we're sending automated text messages, that we have to do it. The only way you could get away from doing that is if you were to actually send a text message yourself by hand. Anytime you send one to many or go through an automation, you have to put that in there. We are making some changes to it, because right now the way it goes is that you send your message out and then 15 minutes later it sends out the follow-up one that says you have to stop. The new way it's going to start working starting next week is when you send the message out the first time, it's going to have that reply stop right away. So we are fixing that part of it.
yeah, I hear you, Kevin, how it kind of, especially when it's the first time. Now, this is where, again, we're talking about luxury here a little bit too. Sorry, my mind goes a little bit too residential sometimes, but we're talking about luxury here. So you want to give them what to expect, right? You probably want to talk to them. I would almost tee this number up as like an automation messages, just something to keep you in the loop. Write down your Twilio number, share it with them, add it to your contact card. There's a couple of ways that kind of give them the maybe Kevin or the maybe Javier. I heard of a good trick here. And this is not really the topic, but you can add it to your My Card if you have an iPhone. Let me share my screen here because I'll explain it a little bit better like that. But right here, what you could do, and this is an office phone, so whatever you guys see here, I have no responsibility for. Let's see here. Bam, bam, bam. All right. So what you could do here is, when you go to the phone, you go to My Contact, and you go to the top where it says My Card or has your name there. Bam. You could basically edit this and add that additional number. I heard a couple of agents use this and it's worked for them, where it kind of gives them the maybe Ryan, maybe Javier. So that kind of helps out, like the, oh snap, okay, so they get it. But again, I would say share this with your clients, let them know. Tee it up. You could say, hey, my personal assistant is going to give you a text message, right? Or whatever story you want. Everything is perception as well, right? So come up with something like that that you could share with them, or let them notify them that, hey, you're going to be receiving a text message in a couple of days, or you're going to be receiving an email back to the contacts, right? On their preferred contact. Why not ask that question? David, how do you like to be contacted? Text. Right, Ryan, what about you? What way would you prefer your contact?
Please just don't contact me. Leave me alone.
Perfect. That means I can go, that means I can knock on his door. Right? Said not contact him. He didn't say not to visit. So I can stop by. Maybe I'm around the.
I like a phone call. Thank you.
Like the phone call. Perfect.
If you're gonna come visit me, I'd rather just have a phone call then.
Oh man. Okay. So, right, a phone call. Again, that's something that you should know. Maybe, hey, I don't sign up, Ryan, for that text message smart plan. Right? I don't sign up, David, for that quarterly call plan. He'd rather like it in a text message. Better for me. Or like Andrew says, hey, so Facebook Messenger. Hey, Mazel Tov, I'll do that all day with you. So we could do stuff like that, fit to their needs, right? Again, back to that luxury. And I hate always mentioning previous experience or previous employers, but this was just something that stuck out with me, and I feel that fits here for luxury. If you tell me you have an allergy, you don't want a feather-free room, right? Or you want the ice to be already in your room. Now, Motel 6, they don't do that. They tell you, hey, third floor, go fill it up yourself, buddy. But in luxury places, they say time. Time is the most luxury that we all have, right? It's something that we can't buy back, no matter if you hit the lotto 3 million times, right? So that time, I want the ice-filled, feather-free room, and also make sure that the luggage rack is out. Bam, guess what? It's done. It's done before 12 to make sure that whatever time your check-in is, But when you're expected to come, the room is ready to go. You don't have to step in there and then all of a sudden. It gets a little weird, but this is what having a good system is, and this is what Command is going to have for you. This contacts in your contacts. I'm going to get a little bit away from smart plans here, but fill in this information. You should know these things, right? Back to the custom fields, what their dog name is, what their kid name, right? Jacob. I know, I'm sorry, I'm pointing at David because he's here. Jacob, what would it mean to you if your realtor on Jacob's birthday gave him a little transformer toy that cost what, $5-7, something like that? That would be a wow factor. One, how did you remember? Second, awesome. I'm a type of person that I like seeing my loved ones receive stuff more than sometimes I like receiving stuff, especially if it was, a conduit through me a little bit, right? Yes, you could search. Okay, thank you for that, Ryan. I'm sorry. But adding things like that to the notes, right? Any allergies? I mean, don't allergies. That's what we had in the hotels. But if you have those type of things, if you know that type of information, put it in there. Remember, your database also starts with your sphere of influence first, AKA your buddies, people that you know, friends, family, ex-coworkers, ex-girlfriends. Too many in my phone that I care to share. But right, you want to have that information in there, right? For you could better service them. You could exceed expectations rather than just meeting them. All right, a couple of smart plans. I got the 2-minute warning here. There's a couple other smart plans that I like to highlight, right? Of course, we have the Facebook follow-up. I know that a lot of us, especially the MCTTs and a lot of agents, they want to go to new business, right? Let me just spend $150 a month and get a couple of leads, right? Because all the people in my sphere of influence suck. They don't. 6% of them are going to do a real estate transaction with or without you. It's on you if it's going to be with you or not. 66-day challenge we have here by the one and only Marty Miller. I actually want to go to Marty Miller and his author, this is author profile here, because he has a lot of good ones that you guys could utilize, right? The long-term neighborhood nurture, missing phone number smart plan. So I have Brett's email, but I don't have his phone number. Adding this, that's another additional touch, another touch, right? Again, a lot of our touches did come from the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. But trust me, you're going to get to that 36, that 38. I would even challenge some of you to get to 40, especially with those luxury clients.
Hey, Javier, what about the one we created?
What about the one we created?
The region, Home Matters.
We could do that. What is it? Who's the author? Was it John or is it you?
It was me.
Let me put.
You can search Home Matters as well. You're in Smart Plan name, so it's not going to pull up by that. You go author.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that. Oh, I have a filter on here. Oh, bam, Home Matters, newsletter. This right here gives you 3 touches. Look how many agents are using this. I might as well rank this as well since I helped out with this. So I definitely co-sign this. Anything that Ryan is using,
you do all of them together, that's a whole year worth of monthly newsletters.
This is a whole year's worth of newsletters. Wow. So if you're over there scratching your head, yelling at your assistant, or you are the assistant, you're like, what the world, this newsletter, what does that even mean? Bam, we got you covered. Your MCTT, the Nerd Herd, alongside in coalition with Ryan Yardberg, has you covered here with Home Matters for the rest of the year, right?
There's also one in there called the Golden Letter, but it's the text version.
Oh man, you got me working right now. The Golden Letter.
We're at the minute, so I just figured I'd give you a couple good ones.
No, yeah, of course. I love it. Again, guys, in the chat, if you guys have a question or unmute yourself, just let us know. Name a smart. Is it just Golden Letter?
Just type in Golden.
Golden Letter. Right here, Golden Letter follow-up email. We have 3 touches right there. You can view the steps. Bam. Now, if you're someone that would have a tough time with those tasks ones, then either delete that step or replace that step with something else or automate it with a text message or an email or a phone call, a touch rather than that task going to no avail. All right, so hopefully I saved you guys back some time because that's the real luxury that we have here. And Smart Plan is for you to automate your business, for you to go tour the south of France, go to Belize for a weekend, get lost in Joshua Tree, and your business is still running because you have smart plans. You have newsletters that are coming out. You have bi-weekly neighborhoods, quarterly call plans. Well, if you're lost at Joshua Tree, maybe there's not cell phone service. So maybe that would hinder your plans, but hopefully you got the admin there working and they could do that as well. 2 million listings this month from GL. When I say GL, I always think of green light. What does that mean? Green?
Golden letter.
Oh, the golden letter. Sorry. Perfect. Wow, look at that. So, Jack, man, do you mind if I know it's past my time, but do you have a moment just to put yourself off mute if you can? If not, it's all good.
I'm off. I think I'm off mute, Javier.
All right, perfect. Yeah. Share us just share a little bit of your story. What made you do the database twice or the quarterly call plan? Where did that idea come from?
Well, about a year and a half ago, there's a bunch of us that didn't know what we were going to do. And James Shaw, who's a bold coach, decided to create this show, this morning show every morning at 8 o'clock called the James Shaw Show, Pivot Shift Call. I put it in there, pivotshiftcall.com. So over, I guess we have almost, I don't even know how many thousands we have on the call, but there's probably Lanny's in here as well. And we probably have, I don't know, 400 or 500.
900. Yeah, there was 900 the other day on the call last week.
So this morning when I got on, there was almost 400 in the lineup to get in. So we have almost 1,000 calls every day in it. And the bottom line is we discuss the shift book or the MREA book. It's open to everybody, but I suggest if you're going to go, click pivot shift call early. So it created, James Shaw's the coach, and he created this program and different things have come out of it. So DTD2 was this big thing in the very, very beginning. And this morning I called and I have 2 listing appointments next week from calling the S's, which, I don't know. Not everybody wants to do the work. This is simple, this is easy, this is not bright stuff. This is just do it. And there's a lot of people in my S's that I don't even know who they are. I still call and say, hey, it's Jack Smith from Keller Williams Luxury in St. Pete. It's good to hear your voice. I want to check on you and see if there's anything I can do for you. Now, people don't ask that question, right? Anyhow, we had a pivot shift retreat last week in JFK Harbor, and Lanny was there. There were 150 from all over the country. And Lanny had you had one closing this week already and one new listing, or what's going on with that?
I had a listing and a closing, and then I had a listing, a closing, and then another listing, and then now I have a closing today.
This is all within what, 1 month, 2 months?
Yeah, all within a month. Yeah, I had 2 home runs.
2 home runs.
2 home runs, and I didn't even know it because I didn't know it.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
We have people from all over. So I would say, Javier, if anything, thank you for your presentation. You made things a lot easier for me. I really do appreciate that because my director of operations does all that. But we didn't even know that we were MREA until somebody called us. All we do is work. Like we weren't paying attention. Like we just want to work, right?
So wait a minute, Jack, and you said something important there. So you mean for me to get a $1.2 million listing, I have to do the work?
Right.
Not kidding.
You got to do the work.
You're not pulling my leg here. You're telling me the truth. I just have to.
And you can do the MR, the golden letter can be sent. I'm not pulling your leg. No, trust me when I tell you the golden letter. I mean, I came to St. Petersburg 5 years ago and I didn't know a soul. And I can't even tell you how big our database is. And we did what? 35 million last year. And we're already at that this year. So it's just from following these. I mean, but I also have been through Bold 12 times. So I have to own that piece. They trained me really, really well. Right. And I have a coach.
The fortunes in the follow-up with the golden letter.
Right there.
The fortunes in the follow-up.
That's it. That's it, Lanny. You tell them.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's it.
Now, if that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what else will. So get on it. Make sure you get the smart plans up to automate your business for you. The fortunes in the follow-up. Get that money, your unfair share, right? And thank you so much to Ryan, all the rest of the nerd herd that is here, and all the agents that took the time and the step back for a giant leap forward. Let's go crush it. Let's get those taps done and knock out the goals for the rest of the year.